What's going on, guys? Boss6 here, back to another video, and today I'm here to give you my Week 13 of the NFL season. I'm here to give you my predictions for this upcoming week, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, was Week 12 ever something special. Mainly besides one game that devolved into absolute chaos, a lot of the games kind of felt like they were just there, but there were some that were like, maybe these teams aren't as good as we thought they were, and I'll get to some of them here in a little bit, but yeah, it's very interesting to see how these games will go, and I do want to preface by saying Happy Thanksgiving to everyone that's out there in the world, wherever you guys may be at. You guys may be watching this today. You might be watching this on Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a nice Thanksgiving, and make sure all your holes are stuffed. Pause. But without further ado, let's get into these Thursday night games. Starting off with a traditional NFC North battle, we've got the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. The Bears coming off of a heartbreaking loss in overtime to the Minnesota Vikings. And I will say this, even though the Bears aren't that good of a team right now, there is talent there. The offense looks a lot better, and especially Caleb Williams looks a lot more comfortable in the pocket. The defense is starting to hold up, even though they are banged up. And the Bears right now, they're still going through a rebuild phase, and they still have Matt Eberflus as their head coach. They just really need to get rid of him because he has done nothing in the past, and ever since he wasn't the Bears head coach after I believe Matt Nagy. So yeah, it's not looking good for them right now, but they still have talent there. They just need to figure out how to use said talent. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Detroit Lions, who came off of a big win over the Indianapolis Colts, where Jared Goff really didn't do a whole lot. They just let the run game do all the talking, and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery had a really damn good game. Unfortunately, however, they're getting banged up every single week. Khalif Raymond had a foot injury. Carlton Davis got hurt. Terrion Arnold and Alex Anzalone, they're out. I think Taylor Decker got hurt. I think Monty got hurt a little bit. They're getting banged up every single week, but they have been doing really damn well despite the fact they have been banged up. And again, without Hutchinson, they are struggling a little bit, but Zadarius Smith has been a pretty solid pass rusher in the outset of things. So this one can honestly be a bit of a high-scoring affair. I could see this game kind of going a little bit of a high-scoring affair. I was originally going to go with Chicago with this one because I do think Chicago's offense has been a little bit better lately, and that defense is really, really, really damn good. However, since it is played in their own hometown, I'm going to go with Detroit with this one. I wouldn't really be shocked if Detroit does drop a game, though, because it is a divisional rival. But if they don't get that defense injuries, figured out soon, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble, because if you have seen what the Eagles have been doing lately, yeah, they're starting to take that NFC crown right before the Lions' eyes. But Detroit is still the best team in NFC. I would dare say the best team in football right now. They are looking really damn good. I am going to pick them to get the win here, but I really wouldn't be shocked if the Bears pull a fast one on them. And then we've got a classic Thanksgiving Bowl between the New Jersey Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants, yeah, it's just looking terrible for you. You got blown out in your own hometown by the Tampa Bay Bucks, and it's just terrible. Tommy DeVito was starting. Malik Neighbors isn't doing anything. The offense is terrible. The defense is shit. This team's in absolute peril and turmoil right now, and it looks like Brian Daboll might be the scapegoat when it comes to the firing. Because, let's be honest, John Mara really doesn't know what the hell he is doing. Meanwhile, though, the Dallas Cowboys, they came off of what the fuck was that game against Washington, where it was on all of the drugs. We were talking meth, coke, and LSD simultaneously, so it's like the 80s, essentially. That was a wacky-ass game where I believe the statistic was it was the first time in the Super Bowl era where there was 2 block punts, a missed field goal, and God, there was something else. I can't remember what it was. Oh, and 2 touchdown returns. I think that's what it was. But yeah, that game was so unbelievably stupid, where it was a very slow and boring game until the fourth quarter, and that's when shit went haywire, where Washington tied it, and then they allowed a 99 kickoff return. Then Washington scored again on an 86-yarder to Terry McLaurin. Then Austin Seifert had a missed field goal. The onside kick got returned for a touchdown, and a Hail Mary got failed. I don't know what to say. Dallas is fucking terrible this year. They suck ass. Cooper Rush is terrible as a quarterback, but yet he played a good game somehow. Yeah, this game's going to suck, and we're going to laugh. Honestly, I don't know who's really the worst team. I guess the Giants are because of just in terms of talent they are. So, I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas gets the win here. But then again, I think we all win in the outset because we're watching two of the worst teams in the league right now. So, yeah, it's looking really, really, really bad for both these teams right now. And then we get the Thursday night football game between the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Mud 11 Packers. The Dolphins are starting to be on a bit of a win streak. They clean sweep the Patriots this season. Tua is 7-0 against the Patriots, which is really damn good. Their offense looks better than their defense. While not the best, they are they are starting to look a little bit more, at least competent in a way. Especially when you take into consideration that the ass blasting that the Packers gave to the 49ers. Now, granted, the 49ers were basically a glorified college football team because they are injured to hell and fuck. And you have Brandon Allen as your starting quarterback. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the Niners don't get ass blasted by the Bills, but I'll get to them here. I'll get to them later on. Yeah, the Packers, they're doing really damn good, despite the fact Jordan Love's been making a lot of questionable throws as of lately. And that offense and defense just ran roughshod all over that 49ers team. So, while I do think the Dolphins have a very high chance to do something funny this game, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the Packers are going to get a win here because, well, it's in Lambeau. It's going to be cold as hell out, and we all know Miami can't play in the cold. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this game is going to go because the last time these two teams played on a holiday, I think it was Christmas 2 years ago, and it didn't really go well for Miami there. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how this game is going to go, but I think the Packers are going to be able to get a victory on Thursday night. And then we get to a Friday night game. I think this is Black Friday, if I recall. We have a AFC West showdown between the between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders, You're just waiting for the draft. That's literally all what they're waiting for. Gardner Minshew is out for the season. You either have Desmond Ridder or you have AOC. So, yeah, your season's fucked. Their season's been fucked ever since the first 2 weeks. This team is not good at all. They are a really, really, really bad team. And Antonio Pierce is literally Freddie Kitchens with vibes. That's literally all he is. It's nothing really different in a way. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Chiefs, which, oh boy. Oh boy. I knew they were going to pull that shit off against Carolina because you look at how the Chiefs have been playing this season. There's only been, 1 or 2 games where they've won by double digits. Every other game's been a one-score game. My goodness. You nearly lost to the fucking Panthers. The Panthers! Oh, Jesus H. Christ, Matt Nagy, what are you doing, my good sir? My God, they were lucky because of high-end talent. That's really all they had going for it. It was a 20-7 lead, and the Panthers came back, and then they lost by a field goal. I knew that shit was going to happen because the Chiefs have been doing that shit for every single fucking game this season. It makes no sense. I wasn't shocked a close game between these two teams because it was very close the last time, but I don't know if it's really going to be close this time around because look at the quarterback that the Raiders are playing, and yeah. So, while I don't think the Chiefs are that great of a team in the outset of things, they are the better team in terms of talent in a way. So, I'm going with the Chiefs with this one. I think they're going to have a clean sweep with the Raiders, but I wouldn't really be shocked if they do drop a game because it's a divisional game. But I'm picking the Chiefs. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, now we're going to the Sunday games, and we have we have a somewhat of a classic rivalry. We have the Indianapolis Colts versus the New England Patriots. Back in the good old days, it was Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Now we got Anthony Richardson and Drake May. Yay! Look, the Colts could do nothing on offense against the Detroit Lions. Yes, there was a lot of penalties against them that cost them big plays, But you can't be having those penalties, and you need to have some discipline there. Richardson did a typical Richardson performance where he had some good throws, but they were dropped and they were incomplete. That's literally all I need to say. Offense and defense really couldn't do anything, especially in the red zone, because they had multiple chances to score points but only came out with field goals. They just really couldn't do anything against Detroit's defense. Meanwhile, the Patriots, yeah, they're still going through a rebuild phase. I mean, Drake May is looking good, even though he's been kind of mad this past couple of games. He's mainly the bright spot on the entire team because, I mean, who the hell else do you have there? Ramondre Stevenson? I guess, but their whole defense is wrecked. Their offense has gone to shit. They just don't have anything, and they're going through a rebuild. And eternally, none of us really feel any bad because, you know, fuck New England for all the years that they've had all that fun. So, yeah, it's not looking great for the Patriots right now. Now, I could honestly see this being a bit of a low-scoring effort because, let's be fair, both offenses haven't really been up to par lately. But I do think in terms of talent, I do think that the Colts are the better team. But I just don't really trust Richardson because he's just wildly inconsistent. He's inaccurate as fuck. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. If you can't throw a big one, just go for checkdowns. It's not that hard. Sure, it's stat padding, but Jesus Christ, it makes your stats look decent. So, while I can see New England pulling off a victory, I do think that the Colts are going to win this game here. I think that it's going to be an ugly, ugly, ugly game. But I do think that the Colts are going to be able to pull a victory off in this. Following that, oh Lord in heaven, we've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the New Jersey Jets. The Seahawks, well, you're tied for the number one, you're tied for first place in the NFC West. That's not saying much, but yeah, that game against the Cardinals was just ugly. Ugliness abound. Geno Smith did not play a great game. Kyler Murray was just somehow worse. And I was so damn disappointed in the Cardinals because I thought they were going to be able to pull off a victory. But nope, you can never really trust Arizona because they are a mid-as-fuck franchise. But yeah, the Seahawks, I don't really know what to think of them right now. I think they're just kind of meh for the most part. And meanwhile, they're taking on the Jets, who are in complete turmoil right now. I believe, I think they were on the bye week. And they probably almost lost that game because it's the Jets. But, yeah, this Aaron Rodgers experiment has gone down the shitter. It has not been good at all for the Jets. And it's a damn shame, too, because this team was a Super Bowl contender on paper. And look what happened there. So this could honestly be a bit of an ugly game. I can honestly see this kind of going back and forth because whoever wants to lose first, I guess. So I guess because if they have more talent, I'll go with the Jets. But I'm probably, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going with the Seahawks with this one, even though I don't really trust them per se. I don't think these teams are really all that good at all, in my opinion. But you know what? Seattle's riding a bit of momentum, and that's all you can really say about them. Following that, you've got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Cardinals, like I just mentioned, had a very disappointing effort against the Seahawks. I expected them to do so much more, and Kyler Murray just had to shit the bed many, many, many times. That team literally did nothing on offense, and it's a damn shame because they do have an offense. Their defense, it's very, very, very so-and-so. Meanwhile, the Vikings coming off with a big win over the Chicago Bears. And they're starting to look like a really damn good wildcard team. They're not great. They're not the greatest right now. But I believe I think they're 9-2. Yeah, they're 9-2 right now. So that's really damn good considering you're right behind the Lions. So, hey, at least you're doing well right there. Sam Darnold played a good game. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison's been doing really good. TJ Hawkinson's been getting some good stuff. It's been going really well for them. And Aaron Jones has been doing really good. I'm just very curious to see how this game is going to go because I want to really pick the Cardinals for the upset here, but based off the performance they had, I just didn't really trust them in the outset of things. So I'm going to go with the Vikings with this one. I think Minnesota has a good chance to possibly take the division away from Detroit because we'll see how Detroit does against Chicago. But I do think that this game could be a fun affair. I could see this game kind of going back and forth, but I think the Vikings are going to be able to pull out with the victory with this one. Following that, we've got the Tennessee Tits, or the Tennessee Titans, against the Washington Commanders. The Titans with a big win over the Houston Texans, and further cementing that the Texans are not really looking all that good right now. Will Levis had himself a really damn good game, and he had memes aplenty with the weird Naruto run that he was doing, which was fucking hilarious. But the Titans right now, they aren't really a good team in terms of talent, but they have been pulling off some sneaky victories, and while they still are clearly tanking for the draft, they at least have a couple wins under their belt, so at least that counts for something. Meanwhile, the Commanders, you had it, but you just couldn't pull it off. Jayden Daniels has not been looking all that great so far. He's been banged up. He's hurt. He really should be resting. They should be starting Marcus Mariota because we'll have an RG3 situation in the playoffs, but I certainly digress. But, yeah, Washington right now, they are starting to be on a bit of a downhill. Ever since losing to the Steelers in a heartbreaking fashion, they've been really on a downhill slope, and it's not looking all that great for them. But they are taking on the Titans, which, yeah, they have the number one pass defense of the entire league, but everything else is complete dog shit. So I'm still going to go with Washington with this one because I think they have more talent on offense. But please don't let me down, Dan Quinn. I don't want to see that again. And that goes for Cliff Kingsbury as well. Following that, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Chargers, that was a rough loss to the Baltimore Ravens last night. It was close for a few quarters, and then the Ravens just pulled away with the victory at the very end. And the Chargers, they tried to make a comeback, but to no avail. But they still are a talented team. They just need to figure out how they can really pull away with victories and not charger all the damn time. Meanwhile, the Falcons are coming off of a bye week after getting ass blasted by the Broncos the week prior, and it's not looking good for the Falcons right now, despite the fact they have the number one, they have the first place in the NFC South, which goes to show you how fucking terrible that division is again. Yeah, it's not looking all that good for the Falcons right now. Kirk Cousins has not been playing well at all. And it's just looking very, 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 very rough for the Falcons right now. So, yeah, this game could honestly go back and forth. I can kind of see this game going back and forth. But I do think in the outset of things, I do think that the Chargers should be able to pull off the victory with this one. This can kind of be a bit of a fun game. But I have a feeling one team's going to out-choke the other one because we all know these teams do like to choke, so it'll be kind of like a Sunday morning specialty for these teams. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers with this one, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Falcons pull off the victory here, but I'm going with LA for the victory. Following that, we have an AFC North battle. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers, that was a rough loss to the Cleveland Browns. It was a game that didn't look that was looking really rough at the beginning that turned into a fucking snow globe. That was the snow globe game. Yeah, that was a brutal loss to the Browns. And man, Mike Tomlin has not progressed as a game manager, has he? That was some horrid, atrocious clock management. And yeah, the high-end talent and the bullshit was definitely not real on that night, and Urinary Tree was very, 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 very sad. Meanwhile, speaking of sad, the Bengals. For the love of God, give Joe Burrow some help. Jesus H. Christ. I am sick and tired of seeing Burrow having a damn good season that's getting ruined because his teammate keeps fucking failing him. It happened against the Chargers, and it's been happening all damn game. It's been unbelievable. Joe Burrow's been putting on some damn good stats. So is Jamar Chase. And Jamar's like the best receiver in the entire league. And they are 4-7. I don't get it. I really, really, really don't get it. Now, I'm curious to see how this game's going to go. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have an offense. But the Bengals don't have a defense. So, it's kind of interesting to see how this game will play. And I really wanted to pick the Bengals since it is in their hometown. But I have a feeling the bullshit is still going to be real, and Pittsburgh's going to be a little bit pissed off after losing to the Browns like that. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh with this one because I think they just have a better overall team in the outside of things. Wilson hasn't really been playing up the par, and George Pickens continues to have crash outs every single week, and it kind of looks funny in the outside of things. So I'm going to go with the Steelers, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals pull a victory here. Following that, we have an AFC South matchup between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, the Texans. Stroud is not looking all that great, and it's a damn shame because I thought this team was going to be one of, if not the best team in the AFC this year, because you want to talk about underperforming on like any other. What the fuck happened to this team, dude? Like, I don't get how this team was looking so damn good at the beginning and just went to absolute dog shit. The offense hasn't been doing good. Granted, Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs, I believe, are still hurt. No, I think Collins was back in the game. But how the fuck do you lose to the Titans? I mean, seriously? Like, you lose to the Titans? That doesn't look good for you at all on your resume. Yeah, the Texans, while they are the best team in the AFC South, that's not saying a lot because the AFC South sucks ass. Meanwhile, speaking of a team that sucks ass, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they just came off of a heartbreaking loss in the bye week and lost by 38 points. I'm kidding, that didn't actually happen, but knowing the Jags, they probably would do that. This team has nothing going for it. They're clearly rebuilding, and Doug Peterson and Jack Polkey are still there. How the fuck are they still there? Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, Mac Jones is playing, so this is basically a gimme win for the Texans. If they don't win this game, then they're more fraudulent than we thought. And yeah, don't let me down, Houston. But they've let me down many times. Following out, we have an NFC South matchup. For one South Division to another, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers. The Bucs came off of a huge win over the New Jersey Giants, in a game where they just took control the entire game. They did not let the Giants score a single touchdown until the very end. And Baker Mayfield, he looks like he's doing really damn good. Mike Evans is back, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, Chris Godwin is still out. But it is nice to see that Mike Evans is back in the game because Lord knows he won't finish a career where that doesn't have it 1,000 yards in it. So there's that for you. But yeah, they're taking on the Panthers, who came so close to the Kansas City Chiefs. Bryce Young had the best game of his whole career up till that point. He was doing some really damn good stuff. And while they're not a good team at all, there was a little bit of bright spot for Carolina, and I did think they were going to have a couple wins on their resume. So while these two teams aren't all that great in the outside of things, Tampa Bay is still the better team, though I will say the Panthers will play a hard game because Chuba Hubbard's been doing really damn good lately. So I do think Tampa Bay is going to win this game, but even though the Panthers might pull a fast one on them, so you will never know on that one. Following out, we have the Los Angeles Rams versus the New Orleans Saints. The Rams, well, you tried against Philly. You really did. They came off a pretty bad loss to the Philadelphia Eagles where they didn't do nearly anything wrong except for that fumble. But the Eagles were just way better team. And yeah, that defense just couldn't do anything against Saquon Barkley and the rush. So while the Rams aren't looking all that terrible, they're still kind of a mid-tier team. They do have some bright spots, and Matt Stafford has been doing really damn well. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Saints, who came off of a bye week, and I don't really know what to think about them. I don't think they're that good of a team. Yes, you have Darren Rizzi, who is doing better than Dennis Allen, but that's not saying much. Like, a fucking tin can could do better than Dennis Allen, but yeah, the Saints, they're a terrible team. The Rams are just mid. This is going to be probably a meh game in the outside of things. I'll go with the Rams because they have more talent on offense, even though the Saints have been doing really damn good in terms of the last couple of games. They do this shit every single year, so I'm going to go with the Rams. No more, nothing less. And then we've got our bird battle here, folks. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Eagles, 2 awards. Saquon Barkley. That guy has been lighting up the charts lately. And Giants fans are currently crying in their pillows right now because you let that guy walk and you pay Danny Derps. That's all I really need to say right there. The Eagles are looking like a powerhouse yet again. Jalen Hurts has been playing some phenomenal football. Saquon Barkley is great. A.J. Brown's doing really damn good. And while they don't have Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson did some nice catches here and there. And I really do like Dallas Goedert as well. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Ravens, who just came off of a win on on Monday night against the Chargers. And the Ravens are looking really good right now. They should be doing this almost every single game. But Lamar is basically Mr. Prime Time as of right now because he's just been doing phenomenal work on the primetime games as of lately. And while the Ravens have had some bad losses and losses they should have won, they still are a good team. It's just, can they get out of their own way? And the answer to that is most likely no, because, well, that's John Harbaugh. That's really all I need to really say about that. So this one can honestly be game of the week in the outset of things, because this should be a very, very, very good back and forth. I'm just a little curious about both defenses, because both defenses haven't really been all that great in the outset of things. So, while this is being played in Baltimore, I can see Philly getting a victory with this one because I do think that the Eagles are just the better team in terms of talent. But who knows? The Ravens can't pull a quick one on them, but I do think that the Eagles are going to have a really, really, really good performance, and I'm going to go with Philly with this one. And then, oh man, this one kind of hurts me a little bit. We've got Sunday Night Football in a dream Super Bowl matchup we haven't gotten yet, but I'm really hoping we do one day, but unfortunately both these teams have been injured. We have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Buffalo Bills. So the Niners, yeah, your season looks like it's done. That was a brutal, brutal loss to the Green Bay Packers. Again, Brock Purdy is not starting. He's been injured. Nick Bosa is hurt with a hip injury. Brandon Ayuk is hurt. Like, they just could do nothing on offense. They literally could do nothing on offense. And CMC, he's tried, but he can only do so much. I believe he fumbled in the game as well. The Packers just took over that game. Like, that game was over by half, and yeah, it wasn't looking all that good for the Niners right now. Meanwhile, they're taking on the Bills, who came off of a much-needed bye week after defeating the Kansas City Chiefs in an absolute thriller that literally came down to the final play with Josh Allen. And Josh Allen has been doing some damn good stuff. Granted, I would like to see a little less interceptions from him, but hey, it's better than him being a, quote, turnover machine. He's only got, 5-6 picks? That's more than what he's doing last year. He had, 20 or something last year? So, yeah, Allen's been playing some phenomenal football. Now, if Purdy is starting this game, which it doesn't look like he is, then I think it will be a pretty easy victory for Buffalo. But, again, the Bills' defense hasn't really been up to snuff lately, and their offense has been a little bit shaky in the past couple of weeks, considering that, Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper have been getting hurt, and Dalton Kincaid, I think, is still out with a knee injury. But I do think that the Bills should be able to get a victory here because it is being played in Buffalo. It's Bills Mafia. So I do expect them to have a very fun showing. I'm going to go with the Bills with this one. I think Buffalo is going to have themselves a really good game. And Josh Allen, you keep doing good stuff. And then, I don't know why this is a Monday Night Football game. We've got the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos. The Browns coming off with a big victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Granted, it didn't really matter to them because they're still tanking for the draft no matter what. But they got a victory over a divisional rival, and that's all well and done. And, I mean, Winston's not playing all that good. He's still having them nice, delicious apple turnovers. But at least he's fun to watch more than the Sean Weinstein at this point. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they're just kind of sailing at this point. They came off of an ugly ugly win over the Las Vegas Raiders. It was ugly, but they got the job done. And honestly, they're becoming a bit of a wild card team right now. And I didn't think they were really going to make anything of note because, well, you have Bo Nix, who was in college football for literally 100 years. So, yeah, there's that for you. So, This one's a very odd game and a very interesting one at that. But based off of who I thought was more impressive, I think Denver was more impressive. Though I wouldn't be shocked if they would kind of buckle under the pressure the that the Browns defense would give them. But I think Denver should be able to get away with the victory with this one. And the victory of sadness will continue to reign. So, folks, that is it for my predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know in the comment section below. And, of course, happy Thanksgiving, guys. And, as always, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, tap the big red subscribe button, and tap the bell so when I upload, you guys will be notified. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Most importantly, join Herd. Talk us next video. Peace out.